I want to thank you, Mr. Chairman, and the ranking member for having this hearing. In Ohio, Governor Mike DeWine continues to lead on limiting the ability of fraudsters to take advantage of the COVID-era unemployment compensation. The Ohio Department of Jobs and Family Services has recovered over $400 million from financial institutions. Additionally, Governor DeWine is leading efforts to return unspent unemployment back to the federal government. And I want to shout out to my dear colleague, Max Miller, for leading in his efforts on the CLOSE Act, which would address the issue of outside of the legal system. So I just want to mention that. Mr. D'Esposito, it is great to see you again, and as a point of personal privilege, I got to spend a lot of time with you on committee, and looking at the overview of everything that you have right now, I couldn't have picked a better spot for you, and I know your commitment to what you do is beyond reproach.
Thank you, sir.
In your own words, can you tell me what led you to issue subpoenas against certain financial institutions last summer that informed the reports we're looking at today?
Well, it was really multifaceted. One was a request by this committee. Two was intelligence that was gathered by our auditors and investigators, which led to the subpoenas and then the analysis of that information over the last year led us to the two memos that were issued earlier this year, where we identified, again, nearly $1 billion still on these prepaid debit cards. One of them, one of the single debit cards had over $85,000 on it just sitting there. And as I mentioned to the chairman in my previous testimony, one of the things that we're concerned about when it comes to the statute of limitations is that we have good intel and good information that there are criminals, whether they are here in the United States of America or our adversaries across the globe, who are waiting for the statute of limitations to run out so that they can cash in on some of that $1 billion.
I want to thank you for that. Mr. Williams, I'm going to turn to you. First, can you identify what's on your lapel?
That would be the Ohio State.
Yeah, for the record, I just want everything. The Ohio State block.
That would be the Ohio State
that he's wearing on his lapel.
Two daughters there, sir.
Very good. My oldest son graduated from there. I understand you spent a lot of time, obviously, in Dayton, Cincinnati, and also all over Ohio. You're a Xavier grad. I grew up on Winding Way as a kid. Can you explain briefly how banks were able to identify fraudulent claims and payments? Can you just basic, I'm going to open it up to you, give you a little time to talk about that.
Yeah,
from an Ohio perspective.
Yeah, just to clarify a couple of Ohio things.
Yeah.
UD graduate, Xavier grad school, and the Winding Way reference is not lost. I went to St. Albert's.
Oh, there you are. That's right.
Now, if you look at it requires, as a financial institution, your primary fiduciary responsibility is safekeeping of money. And you put an unbelievable amount of work into that. Some of the basic practices are a time of establishing relationship. Government agencies do this as well. You do all the checks to make sure that you know who you're doing servicing. It's required by law, and it's in the best interest of the financial institutions. And then as money moves, you're in a state of constant vigilance, watching, monitoring. These are highly technical, high investment areas of a bank. The amount of every single financial transaction that is happening throughout this country within seconds is potentially being monitored for statistical anomalies. Does this look unusual? You most likely have experienced that as a consumer, where you get a text that is this you? And all of that is to, again, move from a recovery position to a prevention position. The two biggest changes that I've seen happen, one is there's a lot more secondary communication where you're always trying to confirm things to make sure. And then the last one is just that the rise of AI is making this all change.
Absolutely. Listen, and I want to thank all the witnesses. A very, very good group of witnesses. And with that, Mr. Chairman, I will yield back.